On the 28th of February 1968, on a largely barren, increasingly deserted land, ravaged by erosion caused by centuries of deforestation, began the work of building Auroville, the city of dawn. Over 50 years, much work has been done to restore life to this land, starting from the rejuvenation of water and soil systems. For without water, there can be no life, and without life, there can be no progress, no development. With the return of life, new ways of living have sprung forth, a city like no other in the world. Some years ago, when I first heard of Auroville, I thought it was a protected bubble, being part of UNESCO and endorsed by the Indian government. Several years later, I now have a clearer understanding that every challenge is an opportunity.
முதல்ல ஆரோவில் மாத்திருமந்தி பக்கத்தில் அந்த வெளிநாட்டு எத்தனையோ ஒரு மண் சொன்னாங்க. அது மண் ஒன்று போட்டு வச்சு ஒரு ரவுண்டு இடம் இது பண்ணி வச்சுக்கிறாங்க. அப்போ ஆரோவிலும் சுற்றுப்புற கிராம மக்களும் ஒன்றா இருக்கணும். நம்ம ஆரோவிலுக்கும் கிராம மக்களுக்கும் எந்தவித வேறுபாடு எதுவுமே இல்லாத அளவுக்கு நம்ம நண்பர் இருக்கணும். அவர் ஆரோவில் முதல்ல வரும்போது அப்படி தான் சொல்லி எல்லாம் கிராம மக்கள்கிட்டையும் சொன்னாங்க. நம்ம எல்லாம் ஒற்றுமையாக தான் இருக்க முடியும், நம்ம பிரித்து நம்ம பேசின்னு இருக்கக்கூடாது.
So we're here to talk about the highway today.
Okay.
How did you first hear about this highway proposal?
How did I first hear about this highway? There was a community meeting that was called, and I think that's the first time I heard about it.
Can you tell me, what do you know of this proposed highway?
Well, for what I know, there are several angles. Let's say the first one is it is part of a very large program of development of infrastructure, which is one highway, second railway, third airway, and fourth waterways. So because the government, Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister, has decided to develop the service and the facilities to provide infrastructure enough that the country can be developed. So we fall within a gigantic development plan. And of course it is not pleasant for us in this context, but that is what we have to look at in terms of overall perspective. As it is planned today, this highway is supposed to pass through or on the very border of Auroville, if you speak of the master plan, but the master plan is not a good reference because it gives a wrong idea of the perspective. So because of its location as it is proposed today, it is clear that it can only massively jeopardize the nature of Auroville in terms of sanctuary. First, from the spiritual point of view, in the sense that if we don't have a physical ground to land, this place has no meaning. So we need to have a place to land because it is made to manifest something from a spiritual range, but on matter, but also massively around environmental issues and around social issues.
These trees quench the thirst and clear the air, not just for Auroville, but also its bioregion. So what would happen if this highway is built? Is there a need to build such a highway in Auroville and its bioregion?
அந்த கிராமத்து பக்கத்திலே ஆரோவில் சூழ்ந்து இருக்கிற இடம். அந்த ஆரோவில் இருக்கிற இடத்துக்கும் கோயிலாப்பள்ளத்துக்கும் நடுவில் ரோடு போகிறதா இப்போ நான் 2 மாதத்துக்கு முன்னே கேள்விப்பட்டேன். அந்த ரோடு கிராமத்துக்கும் ஆரோவிலுக்கும் சுற்றுச்சூழல் பாதிக்கிற அளவுக்கு இருக்கும். பக்கத்தில் ஈசார் ரோடு இருக்குது. கிராமத்துக்கு பக்கத்திலே ஒரு 1.5 கிலோமீட்டரில் ஈசார் ரோடு இருக்குது. மேற்கு பக்கம் பைபாஸ் ரோடு ஒரு 3 கிலோமீட்டரில் இருக்குது. இது பக்கம் ரோடு இருக்கும்போது நடுவில் இந்த 4 வழி சாலையை போடுறதா கேள்விப்பட்டேன். அது எங்களுக்கு வந்தாக்கா ஆரோவிலுக்கும் கிராமத்துக்கும் ரொம்ப இடைஞ்சல் தான் கொடுக்க முடியும், நல்லதை கொடுக்காது.
It would be a disaster for Auroville if there is 6-lane highway crossing so close in different places, because we know that in India, along the highways, there are all kind of wild, developments, tea shops and flats and all kind of shops, and it becomes a concrete jungle. But then it became very clear that we had to fight this highway.
The work developed during the last 50 years in terms of land regeneration, water conservation, afforestation, you can see the greenery around, is positively affecting the surrounding area to a certain extent. And now, if you look at a larger scale, what we call the bioregion of Auroville, which is an area of about 2,000 square kilometers, covering Pondicherry, going on the north towards Caliveli swamp, and inside, let's say, 20-25 kilometers inland from the coast, we observe everywhere a massive degradation of resources. First, groundwater, because there is a heavy, massive depletion, and second, because of seawater intrusion. So the only pocket which is very much affected by this over-extraction of groundwater resources, but which is still a bit preserved, it is Auroville, because of the effort of water conservation which is conducted there.
It's in our interest, human beings, communities, government, United Nations, you name it, to subsidize forests, to keep forests going, and for sure not to bring a highway through a forest.
இந்த குயிலப்பாளையம் 5 நாட்டாமை இல்லை 5 நாட்டாமையில் நான் ஒரு நாட்டாமைக்கார். அதனால்தான் நாங்கள் இந்த குயிலப்பாளையத்தில் இந்த விவசாயத்தில் தான் நாங்கள் இருந்து அனுபவிச்சு வரோம். இனிமேல்ட்டு எங்களுக்கு வாழ்நாள் எப்படி இருக்குன்றது எங்களுக்கே தெரியல. ஆரோவில் எங்கள் நிலம் எடுக்கிறாங்கன்னு சொல்லி கேள்விப்பட்டோம். அதனால் நாங்கள் எடுத்தால் நாங்களும் விட மாட்டோம். எங்கள் விவசாயம் பாதிப்பட்டு போகுது. எங்கள் நிலத்தெல்லாம் இவங்க எடுத்துக்கினாக்கா நாங்கள் எப்படி நாங்கள் சாப்பிட்றது? இந்த ரோடு ஆறு ரோடு 6 சாலை ரோடு வராது, எங்களுக்கு வராத இந்த ரோடை அணைச்சி ஆறுகள் சேர்ந்து எங்களோடு கூடி சேர்ந்து டெல்லிக்கு அனுப்பிச்சி விட்ட அந்த 6 வழி சாலையை எங்களுக்கு கேன்சல் பண்ணி எங்களுக்கு எங்கள் பக்கம் வராத நீங்கள் எப்படியாவது உதவி செய்யுங்க ஆரோவிலும் எங்களுக்கும் உதவி செய்யணும். அதனால் எங்களுக்கு நன்மை.
It also represents a fantastic opportunity. You know, like it's a challenge. It represents this incredible opportunity because you have, for example, villagers, the Bomyapalam, Kulepalam, with whom there has been this very deep, complex, complicated relationship. You know, actually coming forward and saying, you know, we want to go with you to the Lieutenant Governor. We want to go with you to Delhi. And so it really brought up the question of what is Auroville? You see, and it's definitely, certainly not this inner circle, and then there were people who were living on the other side, not just the villagers, but there were people living on the other side. All the original communities of Auroville are actually not in this perfect circle at all. You know, Auro model, aspiration, you know, the forecomers, all of these things are the first original communities where land was bought.
This is a good point.
दादा भाई फला पेशेंट का लोकेशन
பக்கத்தில் பள்ளிக்கூடம் இருக்குது. அங்கே 5000 பசங்களுக்கு மேலே பக்கத்துலேயே தான், ரொம்ப பக்கத்தில் 5000 பசங்களுக்கு மேலே படிக்குது. அந்த ரோடு போட்டாக்க அது ரொம்ப இதாகிடும். அங்கே சுற்று வட்டாரம் கிராமம் வந்து குயிலாப்பாளையம், இடஞ்சாவடி, கோட்டைக்கரை, ஆலங்குப்பம் அப்படின்னு ஒரு ஆரோவில் சுற்றி பக்கத்தில் கிராமம் இருக்குது. அப்படி இருக்கும்போது அந்த கிராமத்தில் வந்து சுற்றி உள்ள கிராமத்தில் வந்து நடுவில் அந்த ரோடு போட்டாக்கா கிராமத்துக்கும் ஆரோவிலுக்கும் எந்தவித ஒற்றுமை இல்லாத தனித்தனியாக போகுது.
So the main issue is one part about breaking the ecological continuity of this area, the environmental continuity and social tissue also, because the road is of course breaking the possibility to have these transversal movements, but also mainly because it will call for development and they will tap a resource which is already extremely affected, which means we can absolutely be sure that the little we are able to do to protect the groundwater resource and to show an example will be just destroyed.
So what is the Auroville point of view? What is the Auroville way? The purpose of earthly life is progress. If you stop progressing, you will die, for no effort of progress has ever been made in vain.
There was an urgent need to create a task force that would really work only on this topic, that would really be focused on this topic and try to find a way to reach out again to the government authorities to try and bring the Auroville point of view forward. For example, we also put out the message that the meeting with the gentleman whom we were supposed to meet, the chairman of the National Highways Authority, we put the message out about the exact time and date of the meeting, and then we requested everybody within Auroville and in the whole Auroville family worldwide to concentrate at that time. So you see the force of that from around the world to try and, you know, to support. So I definitely felt it, you know, that we weren't just the individual people who went there, but we were really going there from the entire community and the area, you know. And for me, Auroville is both. It's not political. You see, that is the big difference, because now, having been to Delhi and having had to deal with, the outside world, which I hadn't done for a long time, I really saw how different it is. We are so equal, and we kind of respect each other, even though we may have been at loggerheads, in Auroville on different topics. There we were together just for Auroville. And so that higher purpose, I think that's what makes us different.
Some of us saw this movie before. They're coming from countries that went through this, and they know the consequence. So the combination of Auroville, of having the people from all over the world, and the motivation, what is not money behind this, is more idea and belief, is give another quality to anything you're doing. The qualities, the results, is much better.
It is to see that the social impact and the environmental impact are as minimal as possible. So where is the compromise? It's a bit difficult to see, and either you develop it in an integrated way with the population to find best ways, or you have to say sorry, but then the risk is too important.
So we need to fight them while proposing alternative, because it is true that India needs roads, that for India to develop and become a superpower, so that her spirituality can go in the world as it's already gone. India needs to be recognized in the world as an economic superpower. And for that, India needs roads, so we cannot block roads, we can offer alternatives. And I think Auroville has so much knowledge about environment that Auroville could also offer itself to the Indian government. Look, we have so many experts, water management, solar management, waste management, So let Auroville, offer itself, to India.
So, to conclude, what is progress? In Auroville, the city's development is the story of afforestation, of water conservation, of soil rejuvenation, of social amalgamation, and of economic growth. It's a celebration of life itself. So, should development be so destructive? Is there a way to progress in harmony?